Alright guys, welcome back to the Red Hot Road, and it was Rooks and Hooks versus Driveshaft. It's the 2nd of March 2025, it's 7:24 PM and we left it at where we just got a check and we had to move the king to g8. So we've moved the king to g8 and my calculation was bishop to h7 check, and I missed that the queen can simply go to h7, so king f8 was forced. The game's actually ended, so I'll just run through with the moves. We've actually lost, by the way, so this was just like the king hunt and it was the beginning of the end. So after queen to h7 check, king f8, queen to h8, king is forced to e7, and we have a discovered attack with the bishop move to c2, leaving the king wide open. We could have gone to d6, but we didn't. We went to f6. Then the rooks come across, check on f1. I knew that if I was going, well, let's put it this way, if I was going to here, d7 or d6, the next move was rook to d1 and they win in the queen, so that's why I was forced to f6. So let me just do that again. Can you still see that on the screen? Yeah. So yeah, I've got to remember not to actually you know, when you're moving the pieces, don't actually let go, because then you got to start the analysis again. That's just how this site works. It's good, but you can't just, you got to move the pieces. So yeah, that's why we came to f6, rook to f1. If I go here, the queen comes in on h7, because I can't go there because of the bishop. Sorry, I can't go there. So the rook comes down. We can't take the rook because of the bishop. We're forced to g4, because if we go to here, there's another discovered attack. Well, the queen just comes to h5 and then it's checkmate, so we're forced there, and then that's good night Vienna. So then guys, that was the driveshaft game. We're playing as black. So how many moves was it? 30 moves. So let's just come out of that and we'll drop back to the other driveshaft game, and then I'll just pause the video. Okay, we're back, and where did we leave? Queen e2 we left out, didn't we? So let me just pause the video again. Okay, then we are back. So we left it at our move as queen e2 was the last video. All right guys, so the moves have prevailed as king to f7, because they obviously notice this discovered attack on the king. We've then gone to rook b1 to propose this, even though the knight can defend here, but then we'd win the queen still. If the rook comes down, we could just take the rook, and then so on and so on. So the king's come out of the way on f8 here to f7 to g8. I thought to myself, well, if we get the rooks off the board, 3 for 5, 3 for 5, 6, they're a pawn ahead here. So that's what's happened. And then we've got a chance to win the pawn, potentially, or get the knight involved on e5. Bishop's taken the knight on f3, so we can have that with the queen. We've got a pawn on c7 waiting in, c6 waiting in the wings. The queen's come back to attack the bishop, so we've dropped the bishop back to attack the knight, and the king has leapt forward to defend the knight. I just thought, so well, this move's coming down next, let's get the king out of the way. And then why is the queen come to d7? Where are the threats then? Does it want to come down here and attack this pawn on c2? Do we take the knight? Can't throw a cheeky check in because the knight takes. Do we hold on to the dark square bishop, or do we take the knight? Or do we play c3 and the or do we put the queen on c3 on the same diagonal? But then the knight comes here, you see. The knight comes here, doesn't it? So we have got a check. So if the king takes, we can go here, check, and just throw some checks in. So I reckon we're going to take the knight there. Let me just pause and go to the submit page. Oh, sorry guys, the play has continued. My bad. Hold on. So we did in fact take the knight, and then we threw in a check, and then we had the opportunity of going check, queen takes, pawn takes, yeah, but then it was a pawn majority, and we got 3 pawn islands. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, I haven't got enough kings too far behind to catch up with pawns, and this king's got to come over here in this area, and this king all they've got to do is just drop down here if the queens are off the board. So there's not enough time for the king, so I need to hold on to the queen. So that's why we've come here. So we play queen a5. They've come back down to defend, and this is where we're at then. This is where we're at. So we have actually won a pawn back here, because we've got queen takes a7, and then we've got to watch the discovered attack here, so we don't want that happening. So we need to come queen to e1 and throw in the check here. So if they do play this pawn forward, right, we'll obviously be here, we're going to defend. If they take king takes, we've got a good chance of holding for a draw or maybe getting a win. So I think the best move here is queen e1. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. 1 second, I'll just pause the board, submit the move. Okay, we're back. So we're going to go queen e1, submit the move. Is there any other threats before I press submit move? I don't think there is, because we've always got a check here as well, haven't we? We've got a check on e4, so that's not a problem. Queen e1, then oh, hold on. But if they go f3, check, we go and defend, queen takes, king, we can't get back in time. So that's not actually a, hang on, that's not a good move. That is not a good move. 1 second. Okay, we're back. Right, so queen e1 is not a good move. We need, oh no, we need to go here then, queen c3. No, that doesn't work either. If the king goes to g1, The queen comes down here, check. The king's got to go to f2, hasn't it? And they win the pawn here, check. Right. This is a tough one. I don't know what to do, guys. It's just that annoying pawn and the queen. Oh, why did you go to queen a5 here? Right, let's think about this. King back to g1. That's the only way, because we can't get back in time. Right. Or we just play h4, and then if they go check, we can go up a square. Maybe that's a possibility. Or we just go king h1. King g1 or king h1. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so if we go to h1, the queen has to go to d1, a different colour to check the king. They'll win the pawn, but the king will be out of the way anyway on h2. And then we can think about going queen to d8 and then check here. That's, yeah, so we'll go king h1 then. Okay, pause the video. Alright guys, we're back. So we're going to go with king to h1 to get out of the check from f3 check. So we're looking at queen d1 next. Alright guys, so we'll submit the move. Yeah. And then that's just some other games, but there's the love for today. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Driveshaft and Rooks and Hooks on the Red Hot Road, and we'll catch up soon. Come on down.